Cassie VA here. I will not be doing the Yandere Larry X listener anymore because of the copyright flag that it got. So I'm just gonna be doing a regular Larry X listener. And I am going to be turning on music this time. And I have a new microphone that I'm about to get, and yeah, so I'm not gonna say many details this time, so yeah, let's get on to the video. Okay, okay, so this time it's not gonna start at the Edison Apartments though, it's gonna start at the school, so yeah. It was the middle of the school year about, and yeah, you didn't have any friends, and you decided to try to make some friends during lunch. You saw a blonde-headed boy. He was known as the religious kid. You thought you could be friends with him because, well, you weren't exactly religious, but a part of your family was. And that part of your family gave you a gift, and it was a cross-shaped necklace, and the cross said Amazing Grace, and it was kind of cute. Anyway, you walk over to him and ask if you could sit down with him, and he said yeah. I'm gonna time skip, and so yeah, there's gonna be a couple time skips because I'm a little tired for some reason, but so yeah. Anyway, time skip to after school. You go to your apartment at Addison Apartments, of course. Anyway, so you go to Addison Apartments, and you go to your apartment. You lived next to, you lived in Mrs. Sanderson's old apartment. And you already knew everything that went on. It kinda hurt around a lot. And of course it made you have nightmares. Just like Sal's, for some reason. But you didn't know. Anyway, the next morning, it was Christmas break. So, yeah. And you decided to explore around the apartments. You saw Sal, and you just gently waved. Then you went down into the first floor, and you were talking with Mr. Addison. Mr. Addison was a British guy. He was really sweet, but something seemed a little off though. After you get done talking with him, you go not down, you go up to the second floor, and you saw a key card. It looked like one to the basement. You saw the maintenance lady, Lisa, Larry Johnson's mother. You handed back the card to her and asked if it was hers. She nodded and said that you could keep it. You asked why. She said that if you need anything, that you could just go down and knock on her door. Or if you just wanted to hang out with her son. Sorry. You were a bit confused, but you accepted the card. She was a sweet woman. She was also very sick. You were kind of worried about her. And then we went down to the basement. And you saw the apartment door of his. You knocked on it, and Larry answered. And he was with Ashley and Todd and Neil. So was a little late for the hangout. They were kind of confused as to why you were in the basement. You handed the key card back to him. You said you don't really want it, and his mother offered it, and you didn't want to say no to her because she was sweet. He understood. You handed the card back to him, and he asked if you wanted to stay. You said yeah, sure, why not? That you have nothing better to do. So you entered the apartment and sat down on the couch with the others. And you were talking with them, and you mentioned some things that so far only they knew, but somehow you knew. They were kind of confused, but shook it off as to just a few observations. By the way, I'm still sick. I hate being sick, but oh well. Anyway, moving on. But then the mentions got more and more detailed and dark. And they didn't mistake it for observations anymore. They knew you must have done something to know. And you technically did. You kind of stayed in that apartment whenever you were bored before you were fully enrolled into the school. And sometimes you saw them investigate there on the 5th floor in room 504. So you kind of knew almost everything. You admitted to it, and they were kind of surprised that they didn't notice you. But you decided to keep your secret as to how they didn't notice you. You're just a silent girl whenever you're confused. Well, not confused. Intrigued by something and wanting to get answers. You're a silent girl when it comes to that. They accept the answer, of course, because there's really no point in trying to get an actual answer. They know. So Sal gets to the apartment finally and sees you. He was kind of surprised. A few minutes later, you ask where the bathroom is. Larry shows you, and you went to the bathroom. And then that is when they explain that you know a lot. And now I'm gonna start voice acting. Sorry that it took me about 11 minutes to actually start voice acting. Anyway. Yo, dude, she knows a lot. What do you mean? A lot about what? About our investigations, dude. What? How? Turns out she's been hanging out there every time, for her free time. What? We would have noticed, right? Well, I guess, but we didn't, but it's the only answer we got from her. Yeah, Sal, I kinda have a bad feeling about her. I mean, she's cool and funny, sure, but there's something off about her. Yeah, there definitely is Sal. I cannot do a nerdy voice, I'm so sorry. It sounds more like a Western accent. Neil was just napping on Todd's lap, so he didn't say anything. You heard everything from the bathroom, and you started laughing a little. And then that's when they realized they were speaking a little too loudly. They have a knack for not whispering. It was almost amusing. A few hours later, you decided to leave, and Larry gave you back the key, the card key thingy to come back. You actually accepted it this time, and then you went to the 5th floor, and you were talking with Megan. Hi, listener. What's wrong? What do you mean? What? They know they're playing with you behind their back? Aw, dang it. Oh well. A few minutes later, you leave again. And you went to your apartment. It was late, so you decided to sleep. And the next morning came around, and so you heard a knock at your door. You weren't really expecting any company, so you just asked who it was, and Sal said that it was the group and him. Oh God, you panicked, and you said for them to give you a moment. A few moments later, you finally opened the door, and you let them in. You asked, sorry, there's so many pauses. Anyway, you asked if they wanted anything to drink or anything. They said yeah. You gave them something to drink, and you sat down, and you guys started talking. And, yeah. And one thing led to another, and then you guys started talking about Charlie and Miss Sanderson and Herman and the murder. You have done quite the research. You are a hacker, so you could easily go break down any firewall and code. So you knew a lot. And yeah, you guys started chatting about that. Wait, what? Can you show us? Whoa, that's cool. Wow, you. This is information we needed. Wow. I cannot take the voice of Todd that I gave him seriously. Anyway, few hours later of teaching them how to hack and stuff, they left. And yeah. It was lunchtime, and you decided to walk around town and grab a bite. And you obviously had enough money for it. You've been investing a lot. And you're basically a multi-billionaire at this point. Not really. Just millionaire, not billionaire. But obviously you didn't want to live someplace so fancy and stuff. It's just a waste of money. It's like Robert. You were good friends with Robert. In fact, you guys were actually cousins. It was cool. Later that day, you saw Travis and Philip at the pizza place you were at. You just glanced at them and gave them a small wave and a smile, and then you started eating. They just stood back and they went on with their day. And then my dog is barking so much. Anyway, after eating, we went back home, and, well, no, you walked around a bit, and you were under a bridge. It was kind of another secret hangout spot that you have. Anyway, you are just listening to music there, and Sal and the group were just exploring around, and they found you. And yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna stop this video right here. And after I get done posting this one, I'm going to get on with the second part of Salix Listener. So, yeah. Goodbye. This one is a little longer, so yeah, you're welcome for making this about 20 minutes long. Merry Christmas, Merry Sentimus, Merry Christmas, and all that stuff. Good night. After I get done making the part 2 to this Alex Listener. Goodbye.